folks, it's Scott Grove, Dr. Groovy of GroovyMusicLessons.com, here today to put a whole bunch of old videos that I've done in the past all into one concise video. I don't know how concise it'll be, but it'll all be on one video. This is the stuff that dreams are made of. Now, this is stuff from like the 50s through the 70s, from the old country. And it gets you from, we're going to be in the key of A the entire time, very basic, A, D, A, then when you hold on for a long time on the E and trying to get back to the A, it seems very boring just sitting on that E chord, especially it's just droning and it sounds like you're not putting anything of any real texture in there. So we're going to fix that. Okay, because here's an example of just simply the rhythm to show you how stale it is. Here we go, just sits there. Just too long, going boom, da-da, boom, da-da, boom. Okay, it's even longer when I'm doing that. Okay, so I'm going to give you a heads up, number one, plus like 6 different ways to get around this. We're going to do walk downs from the 5 chord, the E, down back to the 1 chord, which will be the A. Okay, for those of you who want to get out of here, basically what we're doing is a E major, D major, C sharp minor, B minor, back to the A major. Okay, that's the building blocks, but there are some licks. First 2 that I'm going to show you are going to be simply that, the chords in 2 different octaves. Then I'm going to give you a couple pedal steel sounding knuckle busters, and then an old time lick that you've all heard but is very cool and you have to have it in your arsenal. And then kind of just an old groovy lick that needs to be there as well. Okay, so here's an example of all of those. Okay, so the first 2 will be simply those chords that I mentioned. So a little more interesting, an octave higher. Knuckle buster. Its cousin. The old-timey lick. Okay, so if that sounds like something you want to learn, go ahead and stick around. We'll do all of them in a pretty quick fashion because we all have a pause and rewind feature. So hope you do stick around. Okay, folks, it's time to get to work on this. Thanks for sticking around. Today's axe is literally an axe. It's the USA PV Predator axe. I took out the original pickups because they had problems. Had 4 single coils in it. Nope, not a splittable humbucker, but actually 2 single coils side by side that you could turn on and off individually. Kind of a odd concept, but it's been done a few times. I put pickups that I found from a Paul Reed Smith SEEG guitar, which is one of these puppies. Okay, this is the Budweiser version. But those pickups, they sound flippin' amazing. But anyway, so found some of those on eBay for 25 bucks. Had to put it in here. we have Grumpy Cat flipping you the bird and a heartbeat for the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz, if you had a heart. So just too much red going on here. Okay, so that's what we're using here today. So this whole thing about getting from the E back to the A. Like I mentioned at the beginning, the first ones are simply going from E to D to C sharp minor to B minor to A. And I'll show that to you in two different ways, exactly as I played them, and I'll do everything in the order that I showed you at the beginning. We're doing everything on the D, G, B strings. So I'll yell out the fret numbers. We bar across all three of those strings at the 9th fret. Okay, I played everything really slow with the backing track. We'll keep it there, but going on the fast tunes, not quick if it's a really boogieing song. So 9th fret, 7th fret. Now here we have the C sharp minor. If you make a C sharp minor like this, it's just the everything without the bar across it. But starting from the D string, going down, we have 6th fret, 6th fret, 5th fret. Take that whole thing, keep it like you're glued together, go down to 4, 4, and 3. And we finish at A, since we're in the key of A. Okay, so and don't do as I do. Use any kind of picking that works for you. Okay, if you're doing a slow song, that's a way of doing it. That kind of thing. It's very easy to pick out what I'm picking out. Okay, so once again. If you want that last thing, I simply put down 4th fret on the D string, 3rd fret on the B string. Okay, with the backing track. Okay, so that is it. The next one is the same deal. We're just going an octave higher. So we're going to go way up here. Okay, we're going to be using, to begin with, what looks like a D chord. Okay. If you take that up a whole octave, we're still not up high enough, but we will use that for the second one. We're actually going to go up to the G, B, and E strings. Going down from G, B, E, I'll call out the fret numbers. Okay, we're looking at 16, 17, 16. So it's still shaped like a D chord. Then bring it back 2 frets. So you're looking at 14, 15, 14. Okay, now our C sharp minor is going to look like, like a D minor chord. Okay, so this is going to be 13, 14, and 12. Back 2 frets, which is 11, 12, and 10. Now our D-shaped chord, which is going to end up on our A, which is 9, 10, and 9. So again, from the beginning. Just added my pinky to the 10th fret on the high E for that. Again, you can pick that out, or depends on how fast the song's going. Okay, and of course you can use as much of that as you want. You know, just play part of it. Okay, I was just playing the top two strings, or the high strings I should say. Okay, so that's those two. That one in the context of the little looper backing track. Okay, so that's how that one rolls. Now the next one is what I call the knuckle buster, and that it is for those of you who do not or have not ever bent strings down towards the floor, especially a string as tough as the G string is to do. It gets really tough when we get up here towards the nut. Okay, so what you have here, you can go ahead and look at my fingers, see where they're at. We're doing all of this on the A, D, and G strings. Okay, so we're going all the way up. Again, the A, D, G, in that order, naming the frets. We're at 14, 14, and 11. Now we're going to bend the G string towards the floor up a whole step so it sounds like it's at the 13th fret. So there's actually your E major is when you get the string the full step bent. So there's your E. Move it back 2 frets to 12, 12, and 9. Do the same thing. You can release that bend and bring it back up again, but it needs to be resolved to its full major position. Before we move on to the next chord, which simply, in the C sharp minor, brings your 2 fingers that are on the 12th fret back 1 fret, so they're at 11, 11, and 9. Okay? Okay, it's already minor if you leave it this way. Okay, but I like to add in the bend so that it's continually moving and it sounds fluid with what you've already done, but you have to end or not, I'll show you why, on resting it here. Okay, I started with what's called a pre-bend, which is where I have the note already bent. Okay, but you can, because that's a variation of the chord. It just adds another note, the F sharp from the scale in there. But to be correct is to leave it, but put movement in it by. The next one, the B minor, is just taking the whole thing back 2 frets. So you're at 9, 9, and 7. Okay, and for the A, this hurts because you're so close to the nut and because we have a long stretch here. We are at 7, 7, and 4. It already hurts without bending. Okay, so this one. Okay, that gives you your full A major. What I added the pinky, the middle finger, finger number 2, to the B string 5th fret. Okay, so in context, all the way up here. Okay, so that's how that one rolls. Okay, the cousin of that one, which I called out, is this. Okay, a lot easier to play. So we go on the G, B, and E string. Okay, I'll call off the notes starting from the G. We're looking at 11, 12, 12. And we're going to bend the G string up 2 frets or a whole step. That gives you your E major. Backward 2 frets, so you're at 9, 10, and 10. Same thing, bending the G string up a whole step. So you have. Now the next one, we just take our 2 fingers that are not on the 9th fret and put them there. So we have 3 fingers on the 9th fret. Because that's a minor all by itself right there with all 3 fingers at the 9th fret. That's your C sharp minor. It's okay, so that is what it is. Everything at the 9th fret. Bending the G string just to give it movement, but then resolving with it just back to normal. Everything down to the 7th fret, same thing. And then finally we end up typical pedal steel bend with 4, 5, 5. Okay, so we got okay, along with the track. Okay, there's always something you can do when we get to that last one. I like to bend the B string. I take a finger, like my first finger, to help me bend it. Put it on the B string back here at the 3rd fret. And okay. Because we need all the help we can get. Okay, so that was just bending the B string up a whole step. So we have the whole bend. Okay, so that is that one. Okay, the lick I dig the most anyway is that old-fashioned lick, and that's the okay, very groovy. This is done on the D and the B string only. So I'll toss, like normal, the names of the frets, or the number of the fret, out at you. Go into the D string. Okay. How about we start in the right key? Okay, we're going to use each of our fingers, 1, 2, 3, and then grab the high note with the middle finger. Okay, or the 2nd finger. So we're going from 16, 17, 18 on the D. Then grabbing with your middle finger while the other note's still ringing. Okay? Doing that again on the 17th fret, the highest note. And then backwards. Okay, So that's doing the 17, 16, I'm sorry, 18, 17, 16. Okay, so again. Now we're going to hit right there at the 15th fret on the B string. We're going to be switching a bunch of stuff up so there's no letting it ring out. So we have... Now we're switching up. Okay, so we're doing the same walking thing with our fingers. We're going on the D string from 12, 13, 14. Okay? So you just get to flatten out your ring finger. So you get two notes ringing together, and that is at the 14th fret. So again, 12, 13, 14, and then 14. Now we get to do the same concept, but we walk backwards. Okay, we get to flatten out at the 12th and hit that B note there. So now by the same concept, we are moving, going to 9, 10, 11. And then ending up on 10 on the B string. So again we have so we got to get there quick down to that one. Whatever you want to do there. With the backing track. If you want the... Okay, that is with the G string at 9, B string at 10. Taking our third finger, hammering it on to the G string at 11, and then bringing it back off. Okay. Taking that same third finger, putting it down on the D string at 10, sliding it up to 11. Okay, you notice you're hitting it on the 10 twice. Okay, so after is what I played, if you dug it. The last one I showed was a culmination of basically your brown-eyed girl stuff and your Margaritaville stuff and all that kind of stuff put together, which was like a okay, so this is all done with the fingers on the G string and the high E string only. Okay, so I'm not walking down until nearly the last 2 seconds to get there. I'm doing this in E, then doing the walking down. Okay, so what this is over top of the backing track, one time to hear again how it kind of moves. Okay, that, the way I'm playing it, is I'm using the top of my middle finger when I'm playing these. It's kind of resting against the B string with just the tip of my finger to kind of shut the B string up so we're not hearing. You know, so we're not hearing that. So we're just hearing, it makes kind of a clicky sound, but that's fine. That's country. We have a lot of clicks in country. Clicks and clucks. Okay, so this is a G and E string. I'll call out the frets accordingly and in that order. We're looking at 13 and 12, 14, 14, 16, 16, okay, and then backward, okay. When I get up to the high ones there, at the 16th fret, I like to take the G string and bend it up a whole step. Leave the high E string where it's at. When you get back to home plate here at 13 and 12, so when we get back to 11 and 12, I'm sorry, 13 and 12, we take that and start our descent, which is going to be just backward 2 frets. So 11 and 10, 9 and 9, 7, 7, ending up at 6 and 5. And I did the same thing as we did way up here. Same thing here. Okay, and then there's a couple other notes I added. Those by number were, again, where we were at 6 and 5, 7, 7, 9, 9, with the bend or not, 7, 7, 6 and 5. Then I added this, which is 4 and 4, 7, 7, back home here to 6 and 5, which again was 6 and 5, 7 and 7. Now I did what's called a chromatic walk up, which means every fret. So 7, 8, 9 and 9. Okay, so that's how that all goes. It goes like this with the backing track. Okay, so just however you want to pull that off, those are the pieces to the puzzle. Okay. So I hope this has been beneficial to you, and hope to see you on the next lesson, alright? Until then, stay country. Check you later. Peace and grumpy cat. FTW. Later, kids.